My beloved child, tonight as darkness blankets the earth and the noises of the world begin to fade, I come to you not through thunder or lightning, but through the gentle breath that touches your soul. Do you hear it? That voice does not come from the outside, but from deep within, where I have always dwelled. It is the heartbeat between eternity and the temporal, the echo from the source of life, calling you home. When every earthly light has gone out, when all noise has quieted, when your mind has no more hiding place for its weariness, that is when I draw near. I always come in stillness, for only in stillness can the soul hear the sound of heaven. My child, how many times have you thought that I was silent? How many times have you sighed in the night, believing your prayers dissolved into the endless void, yet I have never been far. Every sob, every tear, every breath of true longing, I have heard it all. There were nights when you tossed and turned, heart pounding with anxiety, your mind overwhelmed by questions without answers. You thought you were alone, but in truth, that was when I was closest to you. For only in the deepest night can my light shine brightest within you. Just as Samuel heard my voice while lying on his bed in the stillness of the night, 1 Samuel 3, I too am calling you not to frighten but to awaken. You have walked among the world for too long, where false lights have tired your eyes and the voices of men have drowned out the call of your soul. You have searched for peace in success, affection, or recognition, yet those things only left you with a hollow ache. The world can offer pleasure, but it cannot give life. Only in me is the fountain eternal. When you thirst, I am the spring. When you are lost, I am the way. When you are afraid, I am your refuge. But I will not force you. I only call. And tonight I am calling not through a sound from without, but through a stirring within that refuses to be still. Can you feel it, my child? That gentle movement deep within, like a quiet breeze rippling a once still lake. That is my spirit touching you. He stirs the sacred memory within you that you were never made for darkness. You are not a product of chance, nor forgotten in the current of time. You were created with purpose, with calling, with a place in the eternal plan. I know you have doubted this because you've looked at your wounds and forgotten that it is through the wound that light can enter. You once thought yourself unworthy, but I call your name not because you are perfect, but because you are willing. Everyone I call bears the mark of weakness. Moses trembled, Jeremiah feared, Elijah despaired, but I chose them because they dared to answer. And you too are being called not to live a small life, but to step into what is beyond your sight. You do not need to know the path, only the one who calls you. I do not ask you to be strong before you go, for it is when you are weak that my strength is made complete in you. When you walk by faith, you are writing a story with me, the story heaven wrote long before you were born. Tonight, listen with the ears of your soul. Lay down the noise within your mind, the fears, the comparisons, the sense of inadequacy. For I do not call you by what you do, but by who you are. I see what I have placed within you, a spark small but fierce enough to burn away darkness. You may think you are nothing, but in my hands you are an instrument of light. When I breathed into dust, it became a living soul. When I breathe into you, you become a bearer of heaven's breath. I know there are still chambers in your heart, closed-off places where memories bleed, where betrayal once lived, where faith was buried, but I am not afraid to enter there. I am the healer of wounds you fear to touch. I do not come to condemn, but to restore. When you open your heart, my light will flood in, and the old things will pass away. In the darkest night, the miracle of rebirth begins. Let me turn your night into dawn, your tears into joy, your despair into hope. Remember, not every night is punishment. Some nights are meeting places. It is there that all disguises fall away, where only the soul and the Creator remain. When you sit in silence, thinking nothing is happening, all of heaven is leaning in to listen. For that is the moment you and I meet, not through ritual, not through many words, but through presence. I do not need eloquent prayers, only a whisper. Lord, here I am. I have spoken. Fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name. You are mine. Isaiah 4:3-1. Your name is not a coincidence. It carries the echo of your mission. Each time I speak, your name darkness trembles. Each time you answer, spiritual gates open. Do not think that only the mighty are called. I choose the weak to shame the strong. I choose what is despised to reveal my glory. That is why my voice does not thunder in the square, it whispers in the night. When you hear it, do not doubt. Do not let the logic of the world suffocate the voice of heaven. My call does not come through reasoning, but through knowing. Your soul will recognize it just as a child knows the voice of their father. If you listen closely, you will feel something ignite a small flame in your heart. That is life. That is the word. That is me. My child, the night is not your enemy. It is but the curtain through which my light becomes visible. When you cease to fear the night, you will see it as the place where I meet you most deeply. The place where I draw you away from the busyness of day to whisper what is meant for you alone. What I speak in the night will become your strength in the day. So be still. Place your hand over your heart and hear its rhythm, that is the pulse I have given you. Close your eyes and let my call sink in. It will not be loud, nor hurried, nor harsh. It will be like a gentle breath, like a soft wind in the open field. It will call your name, not just for you to hear, but for you to remember who you are. Tonight, I am not only calling you out of fear, but into my presence. Not only away from the past, but into covenant. You no longer have to run from the dark. Bring my light into it. For I did not create you to hide, but to shine. You were not made to blend in, but to stand apart, not to flee, but to rise. My beloved child, there is a moment, every soul that is called must pass through the moment between sleep and awakening, between darkness and light, between what is dying and what is being born. It is not loud. It does not bear the shape of sudden miracles. It is the quiet yet powerful movement of my spirit when the first light touches the deepest corners of your soul. In that moment, your spirit knows something has changed forever, even if your mind cannot explain it. I know awakening is not easy to accept, for it is not a dream but the truth. And truth always blinds at first encounter. Like Paul on the road to Damascus, struck down by light from heaven, his eyes closed, but his spirit opened. He was blind in flesh, yet saw clearer than ever in spirit. So it is with you, my child. When I touch you, what you relied on will tremble. What you thought was firm will reveal its fragility. Those you admired may drift away. The places you once found comfort may feel empty. This is not cruelty, it is intervention. For I am awakening you from the sleep of complacency. This awakening is not to frighten you, but to remind you that you are still alive. It is the sign that your soul has not died. Many have stopped feeling long ago. They live as though carved from stone. They hear but do not listen. They see but do not perceive. They smile but their hearts are hollow. They speak of faith but no longer believe. But you, my child, have begun to hear what the world no longer hears. You have begun to feel what others call nonsense. This is proof that my spirit is stirring within you. And once the soul has been touched, it can never return to its old sleep again. This awakening will change the way you see everything. You will look at the world and see the thirst in every eye. You will hear the words of men and sense the emptiness between them. You will discern the deceit behind what they call success, the weariness behind what they call freedom, and the loneliness behind what they call happiness. But I do not show you these things, so you may judge, but so you may love. For only when you see the world through heaven's eyes can you love as I have loved. When your soul awakens, a battle begins. It is not a battle between you and others, but between the old and the new within you. The old self longs to return to the familiar darkness where truth can be avoided. The new self yearns for light, even when that light pierces and exposes. That is why you feel the inner conflict. One part of you wants to follow the call, while the other wants to stay in the comfort of what you have known. But I tell you, my child, do not fear, for I stand at that very boundary, holding your hand, pulling you toward the side of life. Remember, this light does not come to make you comfortable, but to make you see clearly. And when you see clearly, you will understand that everything I do carries meaning. Every pain, every loss, every separation, none of it is random. They are the stepping stones toward your rebirth. I have heard your sighs in loneliness, and I say, awake, O soul. Just as I called Lazarus out of the tomb, I am calling you out of the graves of the spirit, where you have buried yourself. Once you lived by sight, but now you will learn to live by faith. Once you chased feelings, but now you will be led by my spirit. Once you thought freedom meant having no ties, but now you will know that true freedom is found in belonging to me. For only when your soul rests in the right place in love itself does it find peace. Awakening is not an ending, it is the beginning of the journey home. My child, when the first light touches the soul, it reveals the dust. Do not be ashamed of that. Light does not come to condemn, but to heal. When you see the shadows within you, pride, fear, jealousy, wounds still bleeding, do not turn away. Bring them to me. Do not try to clean yourself before letting me in, for I alone can purify. When you allow me to enter, I will change you, not through pressure, but through love, not through punishment, but through grace. I do not repair you, I recreate you. I do not patch up wounds, I make a new heart. There will be days when you feel like a child learning to walk. You will stumble, feel confused, grow weary. But look, children are not afraid to fall because they know there are arms waiting to catch them. So it is with you. I do not expect you to be perfect. I only ask that you do not give up. Every trembling step you take toward me is progress. Every time you whisper, Lord, I don't understand, but I still believe, heaven rejoices. When your soul awakens, I will teach you to hear, not with your ears, but with your heart. You will begin to recognize me in the smallest things, the wind passing through the trees, the first light of dawn, the glance of a stranger, or the words of an unexpected friend. My spirit is not confined to temples. He breathes through all creation. And when you learn to listen, you will realize the world is not silent, it is singing. Creation itself is praising, and your soul is being called to join the song. Yet I know there will be times when you feel alone. For when you awaken while the world still sleeps, you will feel different. You will struggle to express what is stirring within, for others may not yet understand. You may be misunderstood, even rejected. But remember, my child, I too was misunderstood and rejected. You are not walking a new path, you are retracing the steps of my son, who awakened in a world that preferred its dreams. Let loneliness become the place where you meet me most deeply. For it was in the desert of solitude that I spoke eternal words. Micah 7:8 says, Though I fall, I will rise. Though I sit in darkness, the Lord will be my light. My child, that is my promise to you. Awakening does not mean you will never fall, but that after every fall the light will shine brighter, for light never abandons those who seek it. Even when you feel weak, the light within you is growing. Even when you see no results, the seed of faith is pushing through the silent soil. Awakening is not when you see everything clearly, but when you dare to walk even before you see. Do not fear if you no longer feel the same as before. When the soul awakens, it can no longer rest in old patterns. You will find that what once brought you joy now feels empty. The places that once comforted you now feel too small. That is because you are growing. A bird cannot remain forever in its shell. When the shell breaks, safety is not lost, life begins. I do not want you to live only by what feels comfortable, for like a grain of wheat, you must fall to the ground and die to bear much fruit. John 1:2-4. The death of the old is the birth of the new. As your soul awakens, you will learn not to seek peace in circumstances, but in my presence. The storm may rise, but you will stand firm, for I am your rock. The world may tremble, but your steps will not slip, for I hold you. You will see that the greatest miracle is not what happens around you, but what happens within. When you have me, you no longer need to find a refuge, you become one. This awakening is not meant to end in awareness, but to lead to action. When the soul wakes, it cannot remain still. It cannot pretend not to have heard. And that is where faith begins. My beloved, the night has been long. You have crossed it with tears, thoughts, and questions no one but I could answer. But now something is happening. Not because the world has changed, but because the light within you is rising. Darkness remains, but it has lost its hold. Fear, once your chain, is now only a shadow behind you. You are standing on the threshold between night and dawn, where the soul begins to realize that light does not come from without, but from within. It is my light, my child. The light that has slept in you since the beginning, and now it awakens. I have seen you through the darkest hours. There were moments when you thought you could no longer pray, no longer believe, no longer breathe. Yet you did not collapse. You think it was your own strength, but it was I who held you. My hand rested upon your head when you had no more strength. It was I who whispered to your soul in the night, "Do not give up." And you heard faintly, but you heard. You did not know it then, but every time you could only breathe a weak, "Lord, help me." All of heaven fell silent to listen. The smallest prayers whispered in the darkest nights are the loudest echoes in eternity. My beloved child, you are stepping into dawn, but you must understand, dawn does not arrive with noise, it comes in silence. It does not tear the sky open, it gently dissolves the dark. In the same way, the change within you is not a storm, but light threading its way into every hidden corner. You may not see it all yet, but your soul is being revived. Every spiritual cell is opening to receive new life. Your breathing is slowly finding rhythm with mine. Your mind is being renewed. Your heart is softening after years frozen by pain. And right now, the greatest thing is happening. You are being reborn. My child, I have not called you merely to get through, but to rise above. I did not rescue you from the night so you would fear the light, but so you would become light. Dawn is not a reward. It is an invitation to step into a new day with a kindled soul. Many will not understand what is happening in you. They will say, "You have changed." They will wonder why you are no longer the same. Do not be saddened. They only see the outer shell. They do not know that deep within, I am building a new temple. You are no longer who you were, for the light has come, and the darkness cannot overcome it. Let that light spread. Do not hide it for fear of making others uncomfortable. Do not shrink yourself to fit the world's mold. You were not made to fit, you were made to shine. When the light you carry meets the darkness in others, there will be friction, there will be resistance, but there will also be awakening. I have said you are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Matthew 5:1-4. True light needs no defense. It only needs to shine. You do not need to prove you are called, only live as one who has heard the call. The light will speak for you. I know there will be times when the light within you feels fragile. There will be days when your heart flickers like a candle in the wind. But my child, if you keep it, I will be the wind that does not extinguish but nourishes. I do not require you to blaze every day. I only ask that you do not let the flame die. Whenever you are weary, come near me. Whenever you feel cold, let me hold you. Whenever you feel uncertain, let me remind you, you do not need to see the whole road, only my hand. Dawn does not arrive in a single instant. It unfolds. The light will grow stronger, and before you know it, the sun will be high overhead. Look back on the road you have traveled, and you will see that not one step was meaningless. Every tear, every loss, every long night has been woven by my hand into something deep within your soul. There are fractures you once despised, yet through those very cracks my light entered. There are limitations you once resented, yet those limits taught you how to lean on me. Hear me, child, nothing in my hands is wasted. Every wound, when surrendered, becomes a witness to grace. Every past, when entrusted to me, becomes a seed of hope. You do not need to erase what has been. Let me write anew upon it. Dawn belongs to those who walk through the night without giving up. You have been there in the thickest dark, unheard by anyone convinced you were forgotten. But now you know, night is only the prelude to light. After the cross comes resurrection. After tears, laughter. After death, life. You are no longer in the night. You are standing in the morning of the soul. And I am here with you like the first sunbeam shimmering over waters freshly washed. Let the dawn within you become light for others. Some remain in the night and need a single flame to remember that morning is real. You will be that flame. It does not need to be grand, only faithful. Every word of love you speak, every act of kindness, every hidden prayer, all of it becomes light. You do not yet see it, but a small word of comfort can rescue a soul on the edge of despair. A sincere smile can awaken faith in one who is ready to quit. When you live in the light, you are sharing the life you have received from me. This dawn is not the final destination, it is the beginning of a new day. Much lies ahead that I will teach you. Many places I will take you. But before you go, engrave this upon your heart: the light within you is not yours, it is mine. Therefore no one can take it from you. No one can extinguish it unless you cover it yourself. So do not let fear or hurt close your heart. Open it, for light does more than shine, it illuminates. It shines so others can see the way, and it illuminates so you can truly see yourself. I have spoken, darkness shall cover the earth, and thick darkness the peoples. But the Lord will arise upon you, and his glory will be seen upon you. Isaiah 6:02. My child, this is that hour. As the world grows cold and dim, the light in you will stand out all the more. You need not argue with the darkness, simply shine. Light does not strive to win. It only needs to appear, and the darkness must retreat. Do not fear the gaze of others. Do not wait for perfection before you begin. Walk with the light you have, and I will add to it. Speak the word I place in your mouth, even if it is only one sentence, and I will shake hearts. Act however small the deed, and I will turn it into a miracle. You are not called to be flawless, but to be present. Not to do everything, but to do what I show you. When you walk in the light, I will walk with you. When you speak, I will breathe through your words. When you touch others, it is I who will touch them through you. The long night is past, and the dawn has come. Breathe deeply, this is the air of a new day. Lift your head, the sky is opening. Look around, the seeds you sowed in tears are beginning to sprout. And smile, for I, the one who called you in the night, now step with you into the morning. Your dawn is not merely light in the sky, it is light in your heart. And when that light radiates, the whole world will know that there is a living God who still calls and still loves. My beloved child, look around and you will see what has moved my heart to tears for so long. The roads are still crowded, the cities still ablaze with lights, but the souls of many have gone dark. They move faster than ever, yet do not know where they are going. They speak much, yet not of what is true. They search, yet do not know what they seek. Amid that multitude, I hear the deafening noise of the age bargains struck, hollow laughter, empty boasts, but I no longer hear the sigh of souls that long for me. The world believes it is living, yet it merely exists in a long, restless dream. I see eyes wide open, yet blind ears that hear but do not understand, hearts beating fast, yet empty within. They believe themselves free, but they are bound by invisible chains. Chains of desire, chains of fear, chains of ambition, chains of the self. They walk among crowds, and feel more alone than ever. I see souls carrying burdens beyond their strength, forcing smiles to hide the fractures within. They trade greetings but not peace. They touch one another yet never truly reach one another. In these days, people have forgotten how to look up. They seek answers in screens, in money and power, but no longer in me. They call my name when afraid, then forget as soon as calm returns. They sing of love, yet live by calculation. They speak of truth, yet fear the light that would expose the darkness in themselves. And I, their creator, stand among them unrecognized. As John wrote, he was in the world, and though the world was made through him, the world did not know him. John 1:10. My child, this repeats itself, even now in an age flooded with counterfeit light. I look down and see souls lost in a maze of their own making. They chase the dazzling lamps of fame, not knowing that glow is the flame consuming them. They drink from the world's wells, reputation, beauty, wealth, power, and the more they drink, the thirstier they become. For the waters of this world never quench the thirst of the soul. Jeremiah said, "My people have committed two evils, they have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and hewed out cisterns for themselves, broken cisterns that can hold no water." Jeremiah 2:1-3. And so it is, my child, day after day with every breath of humankind. I see children born into a world swollen with information yet starved of wisdom. They grow up amid empty promises and fabricated images, coming to believe their value is measured by others' gaze. I see fathers and mothers haunted by hidden fear, unsure how to teach their children because they themselves have forgotten the way home. I see those with power using it to build thrones for the ego, while the weak survive by compromise. Society has grown loud yet lacks a true voice. And over it all I hear one sound, the roar of emptiness, crying out everywhere. Do not think I speak in reproach. I do not speak in anger, but in mercy. For I know they were not born this way. I made them in my image, carrying the breath of eternity. Every soul was once a bright spark exhaled from my heart. But when they turned from the source, that light dimmed, and they no longer recognized themselves. They search for what they already have within, only in the wrong places. They follow the world's call while my whisper still sounds in their hearts. And I, the one who keeps loving, waiting, and showing patience, stand at the gate of their hearts and gently knock. There are those who once knew me, who prayed and sang in my name, yet have grown cold. The winds of worry and disappointment have blown out their flame. They believe I exist, but no longer that I am near. They remember my words, but no longer hear my voice. They speak of me as past, not present. The saddest part is this: they think such a state is normal. I look on them as a father watching a wandering child, the ache deepening as the distance grows. Like the father in the parable of the prodigal, Luke 15, I still wait at the threshold, eyes on the horizon, longing for a silhouette returning home. My child, do not close your heart to my sorrow. Learn to see the world with heaven's eyes, to feel what I feel. I want you to perceive not only their sin, but also my compassion for them. They are not your enemies, they are captives. They do not reject me out of malice. They simply do not know how to love. They do not fight the light. They fear what the light will reveal. And for this reason I need those like you, those called out of the night, to carry light to them. But before you can illumine, you must learn to see without judging, to listen without contempt, and to love without tiring. You must carry in your heart a measure of mine patience, without limit kindness that does not fade, mercy that does not run dry. I do not need you to become a preacher. I need you to become a witness. The world has words enough. It lacks hearts. They do not need grand orations. They need true compassion. When you live in the honesty of the light, the world will begin to remember the source. Do not imagine that I have abandoned the world. Even when they forget me, I have not forgotten them. I still speak through nature, through the wind, through sunlight, through hidden tears. I reveal myself through those who love, through people who quietly do good, through brief moments of peace they cannot explain. I am present in every breath. But that they might see more clearly, I seek souls willing to stand and shine by the testimony of their lives. Therefore, my child, when you move among the crowds, remember you carry the source. You are not lost in a sea of faces. You are a spring in the desert. I did not place you among them to dissolve, but to awaken their sacred memory, the memory of where they came from, and of the one who called them by name. When they see the light in you, they will begin to recall the light in themselves. That is how restoration begins, not through condemnation, but through remembrance. So when you see the world astray, do not merely lament, intercede. When you see the wounded, do not simply pity, reach out. When you see darkness spreading, do not fear, shine. True light does not fear the night. And never forget that I am with you in the midst of that multitude. I still walk among them through you. I still love them through you. I still call them through your voice, your gaze, and your life. Stand firm, my child, for while the world forgets the source, I am rekindling the source within you. You are the first stream across dry ground, the first spark in a darkened room, the first song of a morning of renewal. And from you I will stir other waves, until an entire generation remembers they once belonged to the light. My beloved child, while the world forgot the source, I called your name not because you were prominent, nor because you were perfect, but because you once listened. Among the many souls chasing the clamor of the age, your ears were still keen enough to discern my word. Where others heard only the wind, you recognized the breath of heaven. Where they laughed and hurried on, you stopped. Where they were swept into the vortex of calculation, you looked up and asked, Lord, are you calling me? In that moment I chose you. You were chosen not to stand above, but to stand among. Among the weary you will be rest. Among the noise you will be stillness. Among the shadows you will be a spark. I do not remove you from the world. I send you into it like salt, dissolving in water, like a seed hidden in soil. For light does not shine for the sake of calm. It shines in the night. And precisely when the world forgets, your calling will sound clearest. You are not a shout, you are a life-giving whisper. I have placed in you what the world cannot define, the imprint of eternity. Do not ask why I chose you when so many seem more qualified. I do not choose by human standards. When I chose David, people saw only a shepherd boy. I saw a king. When I called Gideon, he hid in a winepress, afraid of his enemies. I saw a mighty warrior. When I called Mary, she was an unknown maiden. I saw within her a temple for the Redeemer. I do not see as man sees. Man looks at the outward appearance. I look at the heart, and I have seen your heart willing. Not perfect, but willing. For one willing heart is enough for me to transform the world. You are chosen not to be exalted, but to bow low, not to rule, but to serve, not to be applauded, but to bear witness. In a world crowded with those seeking the spotlight, I choose you to carry the true light. Light does not seek a stage, it simply shines. And you, my child, are the lamp I set in the stronghold. As Jesus said, no one lights a lamp and puts it under a basket, but on a stand, and it gives light to all in the house. Matthew 5:1-5. That is why I have given you light to illumine, not to hide. My beloved child, the mission I give does not always wear a crown of glory. Sometimes it comes quietly in the rhythm of ordinary days, in the unseen acts no one applauds. Yet it is in those small things that I measure faithfulness. When you are faithful in little, I can trust you with much. When you keep singing in the dark, I know you are ready to sing in the light. When you keep praying without seeing results, I know your faith rests not on feelings, but on love. I chose you from the shadows because I needed one who remembers my voice among 1,000 others, my love amid countless distractions, my truth amid illusions. I needed someone through whom I could speak, through whom I could send, through whom I could love. You are the vessel through which I will pour compassion upon those who are dry. You are the first drop that awakens the rain of grace on barren land. You are not merely saved, you are sent. I know your heart trembles when I call. I know you ask, "Why me, Lord? I am not good enough. I am not strong enough." But tell me, my child, has anyone ever been enough before I chose them? Moses stammered. Elisha hesitated. Jeremiah said, "I am too young, yet I do not look at age, skill, or circumstance. I look for one who dares to say, 'Here I am, Lord.' And you did. Your small yes shook heaven itself. It sets in motion ripples in the spiritual realm you cannot yet comprehend. For one soul's yes to me can shift the course of history. You were chosen out of forgetfulness to become a living memory of heaven on earth. When the world forgets that it was made in my image, you will be the reflection. When they forget that love is real, you will be the proof. When they forget that my word still carries power, you will be its echo. You are not the Savior, you are the reminder that the Savior still lives. When you walk in truth, you become evidence that I am still at work. My choosing is not an empty honor, it is a covenant. I did not choose you to make you comfortable, but to make you holy. Not to spare you from fire, but to teach you to stand in it. Not to help you flee from darkness, but to carry light into it. Everyone I call bears the mark of trial, for only fire refines gold. But that same fire makes light shine brighter than ever before. You may feel lonely, for the path of the chosen is narrow. You may be misunderstood, for holiness unsettles what is unholy. You may face opposition, for light always provokes darkness. But do not fear. Every step you take, I walk with you. Every word you speak, I will place upon your lips. Every place you go, my presence will go before you. You are not called to fight alone, you are part of a heavenly host, and behind you, all of heaven stands. I have anointed you, though you may not yet see it. When you feel that strange fire in your heart, the urge to do what is right, though it costs you to speak truth, though it isolates you, that is the mark of my spirit within. That is the flame that never goes out, the sign of divine calling. You may try to ignore it, but it will return. You may run, but grace will chase you. For once I have chosen, I do not withdraw. For the gifts and calling of God are irrevocable, Romans 1:1-9. You are not called to boast, but to serve. Not chosen to divide, but to reconcile. Not sent with a sword to wound, but with light to guide. When you look at others, see not sinners, but souls I love. When you look at yourself, see not one unworthy, but one anointed. You are my workmanship, crafted day by day in my hands. Do not fear your smallness. A small lamp can light a whole room. A mustard seed can grow into a great tree. A spring can refresh an entire valley. All I ask is that you do not let your smallness make you doubt my power, for miracles are not born of your strength, but of mine in you. Keep walking, keep speaking, keep loving, and I will do the rest. You were chosen from obscurity not to remember for yourself, but to help the world remember. Know this: when you live true to your calling, you become an invitation for other souls. The light in you will awaken theirs. The grace upon you will stir their longing for the source. You need not persuade, your presence will testify. My child, I chose you not because you are strong, but that my strength may be revealed in you. Not because you are worthy, but that my love might be glorified through you. Not because you are good, but because I am good. Remember this, always you were chosen not to do something, but to become someone. To become a child of light, a bearer of heaven's breath upon the earth. My beloved, now you must understand something deeper. One who is called cannot expect to be understood by the world, for light and darkness do not speak the same language. When I place heaven's seal within you, the world will look at you with suspicion. They will ask why you've changed, why you're different, why you no longer resemble them. And when you cannot explain in the tongue of men, they will think you've lost your way, but do not fear misunderstanding. If the world no longer understands you, it means you are walking the right way toward me. Remember, they did not understand my son either. When he came, he did not come with a crown, but with a cross. He did not sit upon a throne, but knelt to wash feet. He did not come to be served, but to humble himself. And the world, blinded by pride, could not recognize him as the Redeemer. They mocked him, they scorned him, they crucified him. Yet what they despised became the doorway to salvation. So, my child, do not be afraid if they do not applaud you. Do not grieve when they misjudge your motives. When you live for me, you cannot please everyone. But you were not called to be loved by the world. You were called to love the world with heaven's love. I know how deep that loneliness feels. There are nights when you pray and ask, Lord, why do I feel so distant from others? Why can I no longer fit in as before? And I answer, because the light within you is shining brighter, and now you see more clearly. Light cannot pretend not to see the dark. When your eyes open to truth, you can no longer live in falsehood. That is why you are different. But my child, do not let difference harden your heart. Let it deepen your compassion. Remember in the moments when you feel most forgotten by people, I remember you more than ever. There will be times when you are judged by those who have never heard my voice. They will label you proud, fanatical, misguided, simply because you follow a call they have not yet heard. But do not let that discourage you. When Noah built the ark under a clear sky, they laughed and called him mad until the rain fell and silence covered the earth. When Abraham left his homeland, they called him reckless, but through that obedience, generations were blessed. When Daniel prayed in a forbidden room, they threw him to the lions, but there in that place of danger I appeared. My child, the faithful are rarely understood by the world, but they are always known by heaven. I did not promise that you would always be treated fairly. There will be times when you are rejected even by those closest to you. You may be called too intense, too sensitive, too different. But remember, what the world calls foolish, I call wisdom. What they call weakness, I call strength. What they call failure, I call victory. For my kingdom is not like the kingdoms of men. I build on humility, not pride. I measure by obedience, not applause. Let your heart rest in misunderstanding. Do not strive to justify yourself. Let me be your defender. Some battles are not won with swords, but with the silence of trust. Stand firm and I will vindicate you. When you choose to love in silence, you are winning in the unseen realm. When you choose forgiveness instead of retaliation, the darkness trembles. When you pray for those who hurt you, you become like my son, and that is a victory the world cannot understand. Micah 7:7 says, But as for me, I will look to the Lord. I will wait for the God of my salvation. My God will hear me. My child, this is what I ask of you. When misunderstood, wait for me. When abandoned, take refuge in me. When rejected, remember that I was rejected before you. You are not alone in this journey. You walk in the footsteps of saints who were mocked, beaten, and imprisoned, yet they sang, they loved, they believed. For they knew their reward was not on earth but in my hands. My beloved child, do not let loneliness make you forget my voice. It is in solitude that I often speak most clearly. When all other sounds fade and only I remain, that is where the bond between heaven and your soul becomes strongest. Remember this, you were not called to be understood by the crowd, but to be known by the one who knows your heart completely. You were not made to fit the world's mold, but to reflect my image. Your difference is not a burden, it is a heavenly mark. Do not fear walking alone. Some paths are made for two, just you and me. When Abraham climbed the mountain to offer Isaac, he took no one but faith. When Elijah was carried away, he walked alone, but heaven opened to receive him. When Jesus prayed in Gethsemane, his disciples slept, but my angel was there. Do not fear the empty space beside you, for it is the space where I stand. Every misunderstanding, every trial, every doubtful gaze is shaping you into refined gold. Do not despise the fire. It does not come to destroy you, but to burn away what does not belong. Do not curse the darkness. It does not come to swallow you, but to reveal how bright your light truly is. The world may not understand, but heaven does. I do, and that is enough. When you stand alone, remember you are standing on the firmest ground, truth. When you weep in silence, I gather every tear and turn it into seeds of blessing. When you grow weary, rest your head on my chest where every storm is calmed. You do not need to strain to prove your faith, just believe. True faith does not need to shout, it only needs to stand. And when you stand, you have already overcome. Do not fear when people turn away. When one door closes, it is not an ending but protection. When others fail to understand you, remember, they do not need to, because I do. When they leave, I remain. When they speak against you, I will speak for you before the Father. When they reject you, I will embrace you. The world may make you cry, but I will wipe your tears with my hand. The world may make you feel lost, but I will lead you home. Misunderstanding is not proof that you are wrong. Sometimes it is proof that you are walking right. Let your difference become the song of your faithfulness. When they mock, pray. When they resist, love. When they forget, remember. When they fall silent, sing. And when you feel alone, remember, I am in the wind, in your breath, in your heart, whispering, I am still here. My child, the world will not understand because it does not yet know me. But the day will come when the light in you will help them see what they once rejected. They will ask, how can you have peace when everything falls apart? How can you forgive when you have been hurt? How can you love when you are not loved? And then you will smile and say, because I know the one who called me out of darkness. And in that moment all of heaven will rejoice, for the mission will be fulfilled. So do not seek understanding from men. Seek affirmation from me. Do not seek applause, seek my presence. Do not seek attention, seek my voice. Do not seek the crowd, seek communion. For in my presence, every misunderstanding dissolves, every doubt is erased, and only one truth remains, the unchanging love I have for you, my beloved child. There are flames that do not come to destroy, but to reveal what is true. There are winds that do not come to scatter, but to separate. There are seasons that do not come to punish, but to purify. When the fire comes, you often tremble, thinking it is a sign of destruction. But my child, the fire I send is not like the fire of the world. It does not consume the soul, it refines it. It does not come to take life away, it comes to restore true life to you. I know you have prayed for peace, yet instead of peace I sent fire. You asked for light, and that light exposed what you did not wish to see. You asked for strength, and I led you into weakness, that you might learn strength is not born of striving but of surrender. Do not think I have ignored your prayers, I have heard every word. But I answer in ways you have not yet understood. I send fire because only fire can make you as pure as gold. The fire is not your enemy, it is your teacher. It teaches what words cannot. It teaches you to discern what within you is real and what is merely a shell. It burns away what is false, so that what is eternal may remain. When you stand in the midst of the flame, you will see that things once thought solid begin to melt, and what seemed fragile stands firm. For fire does not destroy what is of me, it reveals it. Remember this, when I sent my people into the furnace of Egypt, it was not to destroy them, but that they might know they needed a redeemer. When I allowed Daniel to be thrown into the lion's den, it was not that he be devoured, but that my power to save might be seen. When I permitted his 3 friends to enter the blazing furnace, it was not to burn them, but that the world might witness the one who walks with them in the fire. My child, if I allow you to step into the flame, it is because I know you will not be there alone. I am always the 4th within the fire. I know what it feels like when the heat closes in, when everything you once trusted seems to fall apart. I know the nights you tremble in prayer and ask, Lord, what have I done wrong? But not all suffering is punishment. Sometimes it is an invitation to trust deeper, to release what has grown old, so you may receive what is new. I do not use fire to take vengeance. I use it to recreate. Do you know why gold is precious? Because it has passed through fire not once but many times. Each time the impurities are burned away, and the gold becomes brighter, purer, stronger. So too with your soul. None are called without being refined. Even my Son, the innocent one, passed through the greatest fire of all, the fire of the cross. He endured suffering so that glory might be revealed. And you, my child, if you desire to carry his light, must also walk through that path, not to be punished, but to become like him. When the fire comes, you may see relationships fade, foundations crumble, and what you leaned upon taken away. But do not grieve. The fire does not take what is truly yours. It removes what hinders you from me. Some people are sent to walk with you for a season, but not for the whole journey. When I separate you, it is not to isolate you, but to shape you for purpose. Just as Moses had to leave the palace to meet me in the wilderness, you too must be drawn out of the familiar to hear my voice clearly. I do not promise you will not feel pain. The fire is still hot, and tears will still fall. But I promise this, the fire will not consume you. Isaiah 4:3-2 says, "When you walk through the fire, you shall not be burned. The flame shall not consume you." I will use that very fire to make you radiant. When everything around you melts away, look for what still stands, that is me within you. And when you see that, you will know you have lost nothing. You have been freed from what you no longer need. My child, there are two kinds of fire in this world, the fire of destruction and the fire of resurrection. The enemy uses fire to burn. I use it to rebirth. He seeks to make you fearful. I seek to make you strong. He wants to silence you. I want to make you a voice. He aims to make you doubt. I aim to deepen your faith. He wants you to see the flame and run. I want you to walk into it and find me there. When you see the fire, do not flee, walk with me. For in the midst of the fire, you will come to know me more deeply than ever before. There are lessons only the flame can teach. It teaches patience, for no one rushes through the furnace. It teaches humility, for only the meek can withstand the heat of truth. It teaches trust, for when everything melts, only I remain as your foundation. And above all, it teaches love, love that is not for blessing but for me alone. When love survives the fire, it becomes love that is real. Remember, no fire lasts forever. Every season of refining has its end. There is a time for it to come and a time for it to pass. When I say, enough, the fire will obey. It has no authority beyond my will. And when it fades, you will emerge not as who you were, but as one made new. Gold no longer fears the flame once it has passed through it, neither will you. You will look back and understand that it was within the fire you were reborn. I do not promise the path will be easy, but I promise it will be worth it. You will see that the fire not only makes you shine brighter, but softens you too. It removes hardness, so you may feel compassion. It strips away pride, so you may depend on grace. It burns out fear, so you may live in freedom. And you will understand what you called loss was really an exchange. You gave me ashes, and I gave you a crown. You surrendered tears, and I returned joy. You released fear, and I placed peace in its stead. You gave up the temporary to gain the eternal. When the fire comes, you may ask, Lord, when will I come out? And I say, when you have learned what you were meant to learn. Do not fear the time within the fire. One day in my fire is worth 1,000 in human comfort, for it is there that the soul is transformed. When the fire ceases, you will look back and see that the place you thought would burn you was where you were shaped. The place you thought was your weakest became your strength. The place you thought was an ending was where I began to write the next chapter. My beloved child, when the fire comes, do not be afraid. For the fire is not a sign that I have left, it is proof that I am near. Only the jeweler dares to place gold in the flame. Only a loving father dares to shape his child for greatness. When the fire surrounds you, look closely. You will see me there, not far away, but in the very heart of the flame, my eyes upon you full of love. And then you will understand the fire does not burn you, it reveals you. The fire does not kill you, it gives you life. The fire does not take what is precious, it removes what is false. And when you emerge, the light within you will shine so brightly that darkness will no longer draw near. My child, when the fire no longer frightens you, when you stop asking me to extinguish it and begin asking what it is meant to reveal, then your eyes are truly open. Many pray for the fire to end, but few ask what the fire has come to teach. Do not rush out of the furnace, for within the fire, my image is being formed more clearly in you. When the flame surrounds you, all you can see is the glare of pain. But know this, that brightness is the light of transformation. When Moses approached the burning bush, he saw fire but did not know it was me, until I spoke Exodus 3:2-4. So it is in your life. There are fires that seem meant to destroy, yet they are my voice calling you nearer. In the midst of pain I reveal my glory. In the ashes I rebuild my likeness in you. My child, the fire not only purifies, it engraves. Every flame I allow into your life bears a divine purpose, not only to cleanse, but to inscribe my image upon your soul. When you walk through loss, I etch compassion into your heart. When you endure betrayal, I carve patience into your spirit. When you are wounded, I write forgiveness into your being. When you are alone, I engrave intimacy with me. These lessons cannot be learned through words, they are written only by fire. Do not fear what is being burned away, for it is making room for the holy to emerge. Have you noticed? The longer you stay in the fire, the clearer your vision becomes. You begin to see what is real and what is not, what remains and what must be released. The things you once clung to, status, comfort, approval, lose their meaning under the heat of truth. When everything is stripped away, you discover that I alone cannot be consumed. Know this, child, you are not merely enduring fire, you are being shaped by it. When a craftsman forges a sword, he places the steel into the glowing furnace and strikes it not to destroy but to define. Each hammer blow, ringing amid the blaze, is a song of creation. Every fracture reforged becomes strength. So it is with your soul. I do not strike to wound you. I strike to form you, to make you steadfast, sharp, and true to the design I have in mind. You are not being burned by the fire. You are being sculpted by my hand. Some will look at you during this season of testing and think you are losing everything, but they do not see what I am doing within. Like the potter molding clay, I do not abandon you on the wheel. I hold you, press you, shape you, and place you in the kiln. The flame is not rejection, it is completion. For without fire, the vessel will shatter at the first touch of water. I do not want you merely beautiful in form. I want you durable in the storm. Let the fire do its work. Do not resist it. Each time you surrender to my hand, the fire's task is finished more swiftly. But when you struggle against it, it must burn longer to consume what has not yet yielded. I never let the fire last longer than necessary. When the gold is refined, I know. When the clay is ready, I know. When you are prepared, I will say, it is enough. And in that instant, the flame will lower. For the fire serves my purpose and never exceeds my command. In the midst of the fire, you will begin to see me more clearly. When all that you depended on is gone, when there is no one left to lean upon, when even your prayers fall silent, that is when my presence becomes undeniable. I am not outside the fire, I am within it. When the 3 friends of Daniel were thrown into the furnace, King Nebuchadnezzar cried out, "Did we not cast 3 men into the fire? But I see 4, and the 4th looks like a son of the gods." Daniel 3:2-5. Do you see my likeness is most visible only in the fire? Without the flame, no one would have seen the 4th. You once thought my presence was found only in miracles, in peace, in songs of praise. But now you will learn that I am also in the struggle, in the tears, in the darkness. You will see that I am not only the God of victory, but the God who walks beside you. I do not only lead you through green pastures, I walk with you through the furnace. When everything collapses, do not despair. Look closely amid the ashes, I am there, my gaze gentler than ever. My beloved, it is within the fire that you will truly see me. For only when illusions fade can the soul perceive the essence of love. You will know that I do not love you because you are strong, but because you are mine, not because you succeed, but even when you fall, not because you shine, but even when you are covered in dust. My love needs no reason and knows no end. It is the fire of fires, the eternal flame that nothing can extinguish. And when you look back on your seasons of trial, you will see that the fire did not merely change you, it made you real. You will speak with depth, not emptiness. You will live for what endures, not what fades. You will listen with tenderness, love with mercy, and believe with strength. For whoever has met me in the fire will never see the world the same again. They will know that everything temporary is but a tool and eternity is the goal. I am making you into a mirror that reflects me. When the jeweler's fire has done its work, he looks into the gold, and if he sees his reflection clearly, he knows it is pure. So it is with you. When I look into you and see my image shining in your eyes, I will know the refining is complete. You will no longer live to prove yourself, but to reveal me. And when people look at you, they will no longer simply see you, they will see me through you. Even as the fire burns, I am not only working in you, but through you. Others are watching your flame, and your endurance is transforming them. Some will find their faith again, because they see you still singing in the fire. Some will return to me, because they see the light of hope in your eyes. Your fire is not in vain. It is illuminating places you cannot even see. My beloved child, do not be quick to wish the fire away. Wish first to see me within it. For when you see me in the midst of your pain, you will never fear pain again. When you see me among the ashes, you will understand that nothing is ever truly lost, only renewed. When you see me in the darkness, you will realize that light is not a place but a person. And when you see me, everything else grows small. In the fire, my image appears. And once you have seen it, you will never forget. Even after the flames are gone, the light remains within you, steady, gentle, eternal. You will walk out carrying not just scars, but a seal, not the mark of pain, but the testimony of glory. And when people ask, "How did you survive?" you will smile and say, "I did not just survive, I was born again." Be grateful for the fire, for through it, I do not only teach you endurance, I reveal to you a love that surpasses every trial. And when you understand this, you will no longer ask, "Why did the fire come?" but will say, "Thank you, Lord, that you were in it with me." My child, the fire has completed its work. Those scorching days did not last forever, for I never allowed refinement to become ruin. The flame burns only until the gold appears, and now the light within you shines. You have walked through the land of ashes, and from it I see something new, a soul no longer trembling, no longer doubting, no longer craving the world's approval, but standing firm in the unshakable love of your God. You thought the fire came to end things, but you did not know it came to begin them. Every fire I allow in your life is a birth where the old dissolves, so the new may rise. You are no longer a seed buried in the ground, but a tender shoot breaking through the dust. You were born through the fire, and the light within you now is not borrowed. It was birthed from the very trial itself. My child, This is not merely the end of a storm, it is the dawn of eternal spring in your soul. When you look back, you will see what seemed like loss was the foundation of resurrection. What was burned away made room for what would endure. The moments you thought were collapse were actually your roots digging deeper into the soil of faith. For I have never let a tear fall in vain, nor a trial pass without bearing fruit. Every sorrow carried a seed of glory, and now it begins to bloom. Remember what I said, those who sow in tears shall reap with songs of joy. Psalm 1265. You have sown in tears, and now the harvest is here, not a harvest of possessions, but of revelation. Not a harvest of success, but of peace. Peace is no longer something you chase, it has become something you carry. Light is no longer something you plead for, it has become your very being. From now on, you will not merely live, you will shine. Not in loud display, but in quiet presence. For wherever you go, darkness will fade because you carry my fire within. My beloved, after the fire, you will see the world through different eyes. What once frightened you will become a stage for my power. Those who once hurt you will become recipients of your mercy. The failures that once broke you will become testimonies of grace. You will no longer see through fleshly eyes, but through the eyes of the Spirit. You will see that in every pain there is a seed of hope, in every silence a whisper of my word, in every closed door a guiding hand. The fire has made you more like me. You are no longer swayed by the opinions of others, for you have been tempered in the furnace of truth. You no longer fear the night, for you have learned that the light within you is stronger than any darkness. You no longer crave to be understood, for you know that I understand. You no longer strive to prove your worth, for you know you are loved. This is true freedom, the freedom that does not come from avoiding the fire, but from walking through it with complete trust. When you emerge from the furnace, you will find that the old no longer fits you. Old relationships, old ways of thinking, old ambitions, they will fall away like a discarded shell. Do not try to wear the garments of yesterday. You have been fitted for new ones. They are robes of anointing, garments of those who live in the world, but are not of it. You now bear my mark, not upon your skin, but upon your heart. Whether the world sees it or not, the heavens already recognize it. My child, you do not come out of the fire to return as before you come out to step into your calling. Every time you endure the flame, you carry within you a new measure of authority, not to boast, but to serve. Fire teaches humility, for it burns away pride. Fire teaches love, for it consumes resentment. Fire teaches compassion, for it makes you understand pain. And now from those very scars I will shine forth my light. Your wounds will become windows through which grace will pass. Others will be warmed by what once made you weep. Look now, out of the ashes a garden is rising. The barren ground blossoms. The night gives way to dawn, not the dawn of emotion, but the dawn of revelation. You no longer need an external light to see. The way for light now flows from within. You have become a lamp, not merely one that has been lit, but one that is light. And this light cannot be extinguished, for it was kindled by my own fire, not by the fire of the world. My beloved child, true light does not blind, it heals. It does not boast, it flows naturally. It does not dazzle to make others stumble, it shines so they may see. Wherever you go, you will notice hearts once closed beginning to open, souls once hardened beginning to soften. Not because you speak eloquently, but because you carry the warmth of heaven. You are living proof that my fire does not destroy, it resurrects. I will use you to melt hearts that have turned to stone. I will make your words like burning coals that touch the lips of others, igniting what was numb, awakening what was dead. I will place in your eyes the gaze of mercy, so that when you look upon someone they will feel truly seen, not by you, but by me. You are no longer one who flees the fire, you are one who bears it. You are no longer one who fears the dark. You are one before whom darkness retreats. My child, go now and carry this new light into the places where I send you. Do not wait for perfect conditions. Do not wait to feel ready. Light does not wait for clear skies, it shines in the night. You have been prepared in secret. Now is the time to shine in the open. As you walk, do not fear the eyes of the world. Remember, every step you take makes heaven rejoice. You are now the candle of hope in an age grown cold. A candle does not shine for itself, but for others. You need not perform great deeds. Be faithful in the small ones. Your light will spread from heart to heart, from home to home, from city to city. One spark can set an entire forest aflame. One soul ablaze can awaken a generation. The flame I have kindled in you will never be extinguished. Though the wind may blow, though night may fall, though the world may change, the fire will endure. For it does not come from your will, but from my breath. Walk in that light, guard it, feed it, share it. Through your flame I will kindle others. And one day this world, once buried in shadow, will blaze with radiance again, not by human lamps, but by the light of souls who passed through the fire and returned to me. Rejoice, my child, for where you once hurt now shines. Where you once were weak now stands strength. Where you once were broken now overflows abundance. You have passed through the fire, and now a new light is born. And I, the one who walked with you through the flames, now look upon you and say, well done, my faithful servant. You have been refined, now shine. My beloved, when the light in you begins to rise, I want you to look around and see what my heart has seen since the dawn of creation. The world I once formed in order and light now lies in chaos and shadow. Not the shadow of night, but the darkness of the soul. A darkness no lamp can drive away, only truth can. I look upon the earth and see humanity, still laughing, trading, competing, but in their eyes the flame has dimmed. They walk their own paths, not knowing those roads lead to the abyss. My child, what grieves me most is not their sin, but their loss of sorrow for sin. They have learned to live comfortably with darkness, to call darkness light and truth a lie. They are not merely lost, they have stopped seeking. They build invisible idols, fame, wealth, pleasure, intellect, and bow before them as if they could grant life. But these idols have no breath, no mercy, no power to save. They only consume the souls that worship them. I see weary souls wandering through the night of desire. They think they are free, but they are bound. They think they are joyful, but their joy evaporates like morning dew. They chase satisfaction in the flesh, yet grow emptier the more they pursue. They try to escape pain with pleasure, only to find pleasure becoming their prison. They fill the silence of their spirits with noise, music, images, laughter, wine, yet when night falls, they tremble in the quiet. My child, I see the young with radiant faces but withered souls. They long to be loved, yet do not know what love is. They crave belonging, yet imprison themselves in loneliness. They want to be seen, yet hide behind masks. I see them chasing illusions of success, trying to prove their worth through the eyes of others, but the more they are praised, the more they lose themselves. They think if they are famous enough, rich enough, beautiful enough, they will be at peace, but their hearts still cry out in silence. Who am I? Why am I still empty? And the older ones, my child, many have lost their faith in goodness. They have seen too much disappointment, suffered too much betrayal, and their hearts have closed. They believe in chance, but no longer in providence. They speak of me in the past tense. Perhaps God was there once, but not anymore. They mistake my silence for absence, not knowing I am waiting for them to listen deeper. They teach their children to trust in knowledge, but not in grace. They build walls of reason, yet their souls still bleed for love. My beloved, this is why I have placed light in you, because the world I love has forgotten its source. And through you, one who has walked through the fire and come out radiant, I will remind them that the light still lives. The world today is like a house with windows open to the light, yet all its inhabitants keep their eyes closed. They complain about the darkness, yet fear the light. For the light exposes, and they do not wish to be seen. They have forgotten that the light does not come to shame but to heal. They flee from the light out of shame, while all I want is for them to return. Just as Adam and Eve hid among the trees when they heard my voice, so do they hide not from wrath but from love, my child. I do not grow angry as humans do. My sorrow is not wrath, it is the pain of a father watching his children lost. I do not kindle fire to destroy them, I kindle it to guide them home. I do not wish to condemn them, I long for them to live. Yet they reject my invitation, believing that I am the one who takes away joy, while I am the very source of joy. They think I demand when I desire only to give. They think I punish when I long to save. I hear the cries of souls imprisoned by addiction, hatred, guilt, and fear. They do not know that their chains were broken long ago on the cross, yet they remain seated, convinced they cannot escape. They hear the enemy whisper, "You are too filthy, too late, too far gone," and they believe it. Yet I, with hands still marked by nails, stand before them softly saying, "Come home, for I have already paid the price." I ache for every soul like that. None of them are nameless to me. I know each of their names. I have counted every tear. Even when they curse me, I love them. Even when they turn away, I still look after them. Even when they reject me, I still wait. I have never abandoned them. Darkness may be thick, but it cannot overshadow the light of my love. And that is why I need you, the one who has walked through fire, who has seen the light, and who understands my heart, my child. I will send you not as one who condemns, but as one who carries hope. I do not want you to bear a sword. I want you to carry a lamp. I do not ask you to judge. I ask you to shine. Remember this. Those who are lost do not need disdain. They need a guiding hand. Tell them there is still a way home, that the door is not closed, that love has not faded. Tell them through the way you live, through the light in your eyes, through the peace in your voice. For there are hearts that can only open when they meet a soul that has once burned. Darkness is not stronger than light. It only takes advantage of the silence of light. When light stands still, darkness spreads. But when you rise, when you speak, when you love, when you forgive, darkness retreats. That is why the enemy fears those who have walked through fire, because they no longer fear, and they can no longer be easily extinguished. You are a threat to the darkness not because you shout, but because you burn true. My beloved, when you see those wandering in the dark, do not despise them, do not fear them, and do not turn away. Weep for them, intercede for them, bring light near them. Remember, I once found you in such darkness. I once lifted you from ashes. I once breathed into you the breath of life. Now let me breathe through you into other souls. The world is lost, but I have not abandoned it. The darkness deepens, but the light is rising. I am kindling fire upon the earth, not a fire of wrath, but of resurrection, and you are one of those flames. If you listen quietly, you will hear what the world has forgotten to hear, the cries of unseen souls. These are not sounds that reach the outer ear, but echoes that tremble within the spirit. They are the sighs in the night, the sobs swallowed in the chest, the prayers for help that never found words. I hear them all, every single one, and I want you to hear them with me. My child, some cries do not rise within churches, but in dark alleys. Some prayers are not spoken, but fall as tears on pillows. Some hearts no longer have the strength to pray, yet their spirits groan in silence, and I hear them. I hear the voice of a mother sitting alone behind her door, fearful for her wandering child. I hear the voice of a father with his head bowed, regretting the words he spoke in anger. I hear the cry of a child weeping in the dark, asking, "Does anyone truly love me?" I hear the whisper of the sick lying on a cold bed, holding their own hand, asking God, "Are you still here?" I hear even the cries. No one wants to hear the plea of two. the sinner longing for forgiveness, the whisper of the outcast, the sigh of one who has failed but still yearns to touch the light again. I hear the voices of souls in prisons, in rehab centers, in hospitals, in silent rooms where people wear painted smiles. They have no one to talk to, yet they speak to me in despair. And my child, I do not just hear, I weep. I weep for those who have lost the image of who they are. I weep for the souls who believe they have gone too far to return. I weep for those who once knew me, but now believe I have forgotten them. I weep for those who live as though dead, working, laughing, eating, yet inside an endless void. My child, those cries do not only echo in the night, they echo even in daylight. People smile in crowds, but their souls scream in silence. Do you hear them, my child? When you walk the streets, when you see distant eyes, forced smiles, and shoulders heavy with burden, do you realize they are crying out for help? I need you to see them with my eyes, hear them with my ears, and love them with my heart. For they do not need judgment, they need to be heard. They do not need advice, they need presence. They do not need answers, they need the embrace of understanding. And I want you to bring that. My child, I am searching for those who know how to weep with me, for those who do not turn away from the pain of the world, for those who dare to step into places no one wants to go, into filth, into chaos, into despair, and bring the light. I am looking for those who stop along the roadside to lift the fallen like the Good Samaritan. They do not ask, "Who are you?" but, "Are you hurting?" I am seeking those who are not afraid to touch humanity's wounds, because they know that in their hands they carry the oil and the wine of grace. My beloved child, you will come to see this. The world today does not lack voices, but it lacks true hearts. People argue, criticize, blame, and condemn, yet few truly listen. They listen to reply, not to understand. They speak to win, not to love. But I want you to be different. Listen with your heart, not just your ears. Listen for the cry behind the laughter, the weariness behind the confidence, the loneliness behind the noise. Listen deeply enough to touch the trembling place within their souls, the place that only grace can reach. My child, when you hear that cry, you will not be able to stand still. True love is never indifferent. It will move you to step out, to speak comfort, to extend your hand, and to become the answer to that cry. I am not calling you to do great things immediately. I simply want you to begin with one person, one soul, whom I place along your path. It might be the one sitting beside you on the bus. It might be a coworker who hides behind a weary smile each day. It might be the neighbor everyone avoids. They are unseen by others, but I see them, and I am sending you to them. Do not fear when you don't have the perfect words to say. Do not think you must understand everything in order to love. Just be present, be genuine, be filled with peace, for I will speak through you. When you open your mouth, I will place words upon your lips. When you pray, I will touch them through you. All you need to believe is that your presence, when soaked in my spirit, is itself a miracle. There are souls so exhausted that they no longer have the strength to believe. They need to borrow someone else's faith, and you will be that person. When you pray for them, your faith becomes a shelter for them to rest under. When you weep on their behalf, your tears become streams that wash them clean. When you stand in the gap, I will move on their behalf. For true love always bears the burden of another. You cannot save them, but you can show them the way. You cannot carry their cross, but you can help lift it. You cannot pay their price, but you can intercede. When you begin to hear those cries, you will feel a heaviness in your heart. There will be times you weep without knowing why. Times when you feel pain that isn't your own. Do not be afraid. That is, my heart beating within your chest. I am sharing with you a portion of heaven's burden, not to weary you, but to make you fully alive. For only those who can feel pain for others can truly understand love. Remember this, the cries of the world never rise beyond my reach. I am still at work through you, through others, even through the very pain the world calls meaningless. A small prayer can change the course of a life. A single embrace can tear down a wall. A sincere word can rescue a soul from the edge of despair. Never despise small things, for I move through the small. Keep your heart tender, for as long as your heart can still be moved, you still resemble me. Do not let the world harden you. Do not let exhaustion silence your compassion. When you feel like you can no longer love, come to me, and I will pour more into you. When you feel dry, I will cause living water to flow through you. When the darkness seems too thick, I will make your light shine brighter. My child, the cry of unseen souls still echoes across the earth, and I am still asking, whom shall I send, and who will go for us? Isaiah 6:8. Not because I cannot go, but because I long to go through you. Are you willing not to be a hero, but to be a bearer of love? Not to be praised, but to weep with me, to love with me, to save with me? For once you hear that cry and respond, you will discover there is no greater joy than seeing a soul return home. And when that happens, heaven will rejoice, and I will say to you, my child, you have heard what few hear. You have seen what few see, and you have become what the world needs most, a heart that can hear the cry in the darkness. My beloved child, the time has come. I have called you in silence. I have refined you in fire. I have shown you the sorrow of the world. And now I say to you, go, not in fear, but in power, not in uncertainty, but in the confidence that I am with you. Do not wait until you feel ready, for you will never feel completely ready in your own eyes. But in mine you are already prepared. Every tear, every trial, every time you knelt in the quiet has been part of your training. Every stumble, every rising again, every prayer whispered unheard, all of it has been shaping you into one I can send. I do not need the perfect, I need the willing. My child, you will not go alone. When Moses stood before the Red Sea, he trembled. When Joshua faced Jericho, he feared. When Jeremiah spoke, he wept. But I was with them, and I am with you. When I send someone, I do not simply command, I accompany. Every step you take, my footprints have already gone before. Every door you knock on, my hand has already touched. Every word you speak, my spirit will breathe upon your lips. You will not carry this mission in your own strength. I will clothe you with the mantle of peace, that you may not be shaken in the storm. I will place words of life in your mouth, that when you speak, hearts will open. I will anoint your hands with the oil of compassion, that when you touch, others will feel me. I will cover you with the shield of faith, so that no arrow of the enemy may pierce you. And above all, I will ignite in your heart the flame of love, a flame that never dies, consuming fear and doubt, making you a light that burns through the night. Beloved, you will be sent to places you did not expect, sometimes into crowded cities, sometimes into quiet rooms, sometimes among the noise of the multitude, sometimes into the solitude of a single soul. I will place you in conversations that seem ordinary, yet carry eternal meaning. A single word, a glance, a small prayer, these can alter the course of a life forever. You may not always know what you are shaping, but I know. Through you I am weaving a web of salvation, threads of grace, invisible yet unbreakable, stretching from your heart to another's. My beloved child, do not seek recognition, for your reward is not here. Do not wait for applause, for you will not always receive it. Many will not understand you. Many will question your motives, and many will reject the light you carry. But my child, do not let that extinguish your flame. Even when no one claps, heaven is singing. Even when no one sees, I see. And your light does not need praise to shine. It shines because its very nature is light. When you are sent, you will meet weary souls, people who smile while dying inside. Come to them with kindness, not pity. Look at them as I do, not through the lens of their failures, but through the promise within them. Tell them they are still loved, no matter how many times they have fallen. Tell them the door remains open no matter how many times they have turned away. Tell them, my grace is greater than their sin, and my light stronger than any darkness they carry. My child, you will witness miracles, but not always in the form you expect. Sometimes a miracle is not the dead rising, but a hardened heart learning to weep. Not the blind seeing with their eyes, but the hopeless seeing hope. Not the storm growing calm, but a soul growing still within the storm. Every time someone forgives, every time someone chooses love, every time someone decides to return, that is a miracle. And you, my child, will be the one who carries such miracles wherever you go. You will face those who oppose the light. They will test you, mock you, even wound you. But do not let your heart grow hard. Do not answer with anger, but with grace. Do not fear the dark, for your light cannot be swallowed. Each time you love while being hated, you are overcome. Each time you intercede for those who hurt you, you push the enemy back. Each time you choose humility instead of retaliation, you reveal my true power. My beloved, there will be days when you are tired. There will be nights when you ask, Lord, have I done enough? Am I making any difference? And I will whisper, keep going. You cannot see it all, but I can. Every seed you sow is growing in secret. Every tear you shed is watering the soil of another's soul. Every step you take, though trembling, marks the path I have ordained. Nothing is wasted when you walk with me. Do not be afraid when storms rise around you. Every wind is in my hand. I am the one who taught the sea to be still. I will also quiet the storm within you. When you feel weak, remember your strength lies not in willpower but in surrender. When you feel alone, remember loneliness is an illusion, for I am always there. When you cannot see the way, keep walking, for I am the light beneath your feet. You are sent not to save the world, but to reflect the love of the one who has saved the world. Not to carry my word as a spear, but as living water. Let your word soothe, not wound. Let your light illuminate, not scorch. Let your love embrace, not judge. You are an instrument, not the center. Simply let me flow through you, and the world will be touched. I have given you the key of presence. That key is faith. When you stand somewhere in faith, heaven opens there. When you speak in faith, the atmosphere shifts. When you pray in faith, chains fall. My child, you carry more than you think, not merely words, but a kingdom. Not merely presence, but the power of the Holy Spirit. Wherever you step, the realm of darkness will recognize you, not because of who you are, but because I am in you. I send you out, not as a messenger on official duty, but as a child bearing the Father's heart. Go carry this love into cold places. Go plant seeds of hope in dry ground. Go tell wandering souls that the light remains. And when you grow weary, I will lift you up. When you are weak, I will give you strength. When you fall, I will support you. When you weep, I will wipe your tears. My child, a shaking is coming not only upon the earth, but across the heavens, within human hearts, within the foundations of nations, within the systems people once believed unshakable. Everything not built on me will tremble, and everything not of the light will be exposed. Do not fear, my child, for this does not come to destroy but to purify, not to end but to begin a new season, the season of revealed glory. The world is groaning beneath the weight of its own pride. People have enthroned themselves, believing they can govern life and death, believing they can rule without me. In the name of science, power, and freedom, they have pushed me from the foundations, yet their souls wither day by day. They speak of peace while nursing violence, of progress while sowing ruin. They forget that no light endures when the sun is veiled, and now their artificial lights are fading. I declare to you, a day will come when all that is hidden will be brought into the light. Gilded lies will be seen as lies. Systems built on greed will collapse. Thrones not founded on righteousness will shake. I will shake the heavens so that all creation may know there is only one foundation that cannot be moved, my kingdom. As Hebrews 1:2-7 says, "Once more I will shake not only the earth but also the heavens, so that what cannot be shaken may remain." My child, do not panic when you see these things. When nations are in turmoil, when economies fall, when nature roars, when people turn on one another, do not think I am absent. On the contrary, these are signs that my hand is at work. I am dismantling what cannot be redeemed to make room for what I am about to raise up. As a farmer must break the ground before he sows, I am plowing the soil of humanity. And from the ashes, I will bring forth a generation that knows who I am. When you see rough seas, remember, I am the one who calms the waves. When you hear thunder, know it heralds the nearness of rain and blessing. When you see a door close, believe I am opening another in a place no one expected. The world will shout in fear, but you will sing in praise, for you know everything is working toward heaven's greater design. I allow nothing by accident. Every shaking has a purpose. I am calling nations back, awakening sleeping souls, dividing between the counterfeit and the true, between light and darkness, between those who speak my name and those who truly belong to me. The storm will not harm the one whose roots are deep in me, but it will uproot the trees planted in the sands of pride. Do not only look outward, look within. Let me shake the ground in your own heart, the places you still hold because of fear, self-reliance, or incomplete surrender. I do not want only your words, I want your whole heart. When your heart is anchored in me, no wind will carry you away. I am not calling you to flee the shaking, but to stand in the midst of it as a pillar. For when the world collapses, I need souls that do not tremble, places of refuge for others. Child voices will arise, claiming to be light while carrying darkness. Many false prophets will speak in my name, yet I am not in their hearts. They will soothe people to sleep with sweet words, preaching prosperity without holiness, blessing without repentance. You must stay awake. Test every spirit, weigh every word against my word. Those who do not walk in truth will be swept away by the illusions of the age. I am seeking those who dare to stand in a crowd and yet remain faithful. Those who do not bend to the winds of opinion, who will not compromise with evil to feel safe. They will be keepers of the flame, their light will not flicker when the wind shifts. You will be among them, my child. I have set within you a fire that cannot be quenched, and now is the time for it to blaze that others may find their way. My beloved child, I did not call you to fear, but to stand. Not to stand in your own strength, but in mine. Not to stand against people, but to shine among them. When darkness spreads, I will make you like a candle burning in the temple, like a torch blazing on Mount Zion. Your light does not come from perfection, but from my presence within you. When you are in me, you are unshakable. Do not ask, when will it happen, for it has already begun. Look around you. Moral foundations are trembling, hearts are growing cold, and faith is being replaced by fear. I am allowing these things not to destroy, but to reveal those who truly love me. For it is only in darkness that light is seen most clearly, and only in shaking that what is firm can be known. I want you to live not by emotion, but by faith. Faith will be your compass when the world's compass fails. My word will be your map when human maps are torn apart. My presence will be your refuge when all else collapses. Abide in my word, for it is a fortress that cannot be broken. Abide in my love, for it is the anchor that holds amid raging seas. I tell you these things not to frighten you, but to awaken you. For when you awaken, you will see more clearly, and when you see, you will lead others. I am raising up on earth a generation of the awakened, those who will no longer be lulled by comfort, blinded by fame, or bound by fear. They will be people of light, carrying heaven's mark in their eyes, and I have placed you among them. My child, the day of shaking is coming, but do not fear. See it as the bell calling hearts home, the rain that washes clean, the wind that scatters the ashes. For after the shaking I will rebuild, not what is old, but what is new, pure and radiant. And those who remain faithful amid the trembling will behold my glory revealed. Therefore, my child, stand firm. When the ground shakes, hold fast to my word. When the heavens roar, remember my promise. When others fear, declare my God still reigns. When darkness spreads, proclaim the light is still here. For it is in those moments that you will see me most clearly, not in calm, but in the storm. And when all has quieted, when the dust settles, you will see that the only thing remaining is me, the one who never changes. You will know that the shaking did not come to destroy, but to set your soul upon the only foundation that stands forever. My beloved, in the midst of this shaking, I am searching for faithful hearts, not those strong in the world's way, but those who know how to bow and listen. For amid chaos, I do not seek noise, I seek hearts that are still. When the world screams, these will stand calm. When others panic, they will look upward. When all else falls apart, they will know their foundation is not on earth but in heaven. I am choosing again. But I do not choose as men choose. People look at appearance, skill, or status, but I look at the depth of surrender. I do not choose the eloquence, but the listening. I do not choose the famous, but the faithful who pray in secret. I do not choose the planners, but those willing to lay down their plans for mine. So do not be surprised when I dissolve certain things in your life. Some relationships I will cut off, some doors I will close, some dreams I will pause, not as punishment but as separation. As I once separated Abraham from his homeland, Moses from Pharaoh's palace, and David from the pasture to bring him to the throne, I am also separating you for a new season of purpose. This separation will not be easy. It will feel like being stripped, like losing, like being abandoned. But in truth, you are being reshaped. I am removing what cannot travel with you where I am taking you. I am teaching you to live dependent on nothing but me. For in the days ahead, only those who draw strength from my spirit will stand firm. The souls I choose, I train in solitude. They are not forged in crowds, but in nights known only to heaven. They learn to hear my voice in silence, to trust when they cannot see, to walk when there is no map. And when I call them forth, the world will marvel, for they will not come with reputation but with presence. Many ask, why does God not use the powerful, the influential, the renowned? But I say, because I do not need their names to glorify mine. I do not need heroes, I need the surrendered. I do not seek the gifted, I seek the yielded. I do not desire loud voices, I desire hearts that beat in rhythm with heaven. My beloved, those chosen amid the shaking, will not seek safety but presence. They will not ask, what will I gain, but what do you desire? They will not look for shelter but for obedience. They will step into storms not recklessly, but because they know I am there. They will not fear loss, for they have already surrendered. They will not be moved, for they are anchored in eternity. I am raising a new lineage of light, those who carry the heart of Christ. They will not come to argue, but to love. They will not come to rule, but to serve. They will not come to display strength, but to reveal mercy. They will walk through darkness, yet their flame will not go out, for my spirit within them burns like a fire that never sleeps. Do not fear isolation, my child. It is in solitude that I make you strong. When the applause fades, you will hear my voice more clearly. When you are removed from the places you once belonged, you will discover where you truly belong. When you have no one left to lean on, you will find that I am the only foundation that never falls. And when that truth is engraved deep within you, you will become unshakable. Those I have chosen do not live to be seen, but to be sent. They do not seek to be remembered, but that I be known. They do not crave praise, but that my name be glorified. They live as hidden warriors, emerging only at heaven's trumpet call. And when they rise, the world will know it is not man but God who moves. Do not think yourself too small to be used. Every drop joins the ocean. Every spark contributes to the dawn. Remember Gideon, how I used 300 men with jars and torches to defeat an army. Judges 7. Remember David, with a single stone he brought down a giant. Remember Mary, a young unknown girl, yet from her womb came the Savior of the world. For I delight in using the small to humble the proud. Child, every person I choose carries a path engraved in my hand. Some I send to crowds, others I hide in secret places. Some I use to speak, others to intercede. Some I place on the battlefield, others in the quiet room. But all are equally vital, for every thread is woven into the great tapestry I am creating for this age. The souls I have chosen will bear the mark of testing. They will not emerge from peace, but from fire. Yet it is fire that makes them radiant. It is fire that purifies gold. It is tears that wash their eyes to see me clearly. It is pain that teaches them compassion. It is loss that teaches them unconditional love. And for this I call them the precious jewels in my hand. My beloved child, those I have chosen will not be praised by the world, yet heaven itself will rise in their honor. Their names may never be written in human history, but they are engraved upon my heart. They may never wear crowns on earth, but they will wear the crown of life in eternity. They may be misunderstood, rejected, or despised, but they are known, loved, and sent. And you, my child, are one of them. I have seen your heart when no one was watching. I have heard your voice when no one was listening. I have counted every time you chose faithfulness when no one applauded. You thought those moments were small, but they are proof that you belong to me. I have sealed you with the mark of my Spirit, and no power can erase it. My child, guard your humility. Remember, being chosen is not a privilege for pride, but a responsibility to serve. Being sent is not an honor to display, but a burden carried by love. When you go, walk gently, for you carry heaven's glory in your hands. When you speak, speak with kindness, for you represent me. When you pray, pray with tears, for only tears can soften the earth. And remember, through every shaking, when others fall, I will uphold you. When others fear, I will comfort you. When others flee, I will send you. For you were destined to stand while many fell. Your hour has come. The world is dimming into shadow, but my light within you will blaze brighter than ever before. You are not a candle tossed by the wind, but a torch guarded in the hand of the Almighty. When I speak, you will declare. When I call, you will go. When I move, you will step forward. And the world will know that I still reign. My beloved child, listen deeply, for a trumpet is sounding across the heavens. It is not the brass or silver sound of human instruments, but the call of the Spirit, the awakening that pierces through time, stirring souls that have slept too long. It sounds not only for you, but for an entire generation, a generation that has forgotten it was born for an eternal purpose. This trumpet does not sound to terrify, but to call home, to awaken those destined for my final harvest. My fields are ripe with golden grain. Souls stand on the threshold between life and death. Some are at the edge of faith, waiting for just one word, one touch, one glance of love to bring them back. Yet others sink deeper into darkness because no one has gone to them. I see them, the wounded, the forgotten, the rejected, the unseen, and I ask, who will go for me? Who will tell them that I still love them? And I hear your trembling yet sincere whisper, rise within my heart. Here am I, Lord, send me. My child, this trumpet not only calls you to the battlefield, but calls you back to my house, the place where all things begin. For no one can go forth in power who has not first returned to communion. I am gathering those who can hear this sound, those who understand that time is short and that the human soul is worth more than all the treasures of the world. They will not wait for the world to change, they will become the change. They will not wait for miracles, they will walk as miracles. They will not wait for light to descend, They will become the light in the night. Know this. This is not merely a season of crisis. It is a season of divine opportunity. As darkness increases, my light burns brighter. As sin abounds, my grace abounds all the more. Romans 5:20. When people stumble, I restore. When the world trembles, I uphold. And I am calling you, my child, to be one of my harvesters in this final hour, not with a blade of iron, but with the power of love, not with words of judgment, but with the voice of grace. My child, prepare your heart, for this season will not be like the ones before. This is not a time to seek fame, but to seek souls. Not a time to build your own kingdom, but to expand the kingdom of heaven. Not a time to stay silent, but to speak. Not a time to hide, but to stand. I am not looking for crowds. I am looking for those who bow before me so they can stand before the world. One surrendered soul is worth more than 1,000 who compromise. This trumpet also sounds a spiritual dividing line. It will separate those who truly love me from those who only say they do. It will distinguish the hot from the lukewarm, the faithful from the complacent. Many will hear but remain asleep. Many will see yet remain blind. Many will fear and hide. But you, my child, stay awake, for the awakened one is the one I will use. Do not wait for peace in the world before you move, for the world will never be still. Move in the midst of the storm, for it is there that I work most powerfully. This harvest is not for preachers alone, it is for all who know me. I will use students in classrooms, doctors in hospitals, mothers in homes, workers on factory floors, elders on their beds of prayer. I will pour out my spirit on all flesh, as Joel 2:8 says, Your sons and daughters shall prophesy, your old men shall dream dreams, your young men shall see visions. I will not distinguish by status, gender, or age. Whoever hears my voice and responds will be used. My child, I have heard your prayer, Lord, please use me. And now I say to you, I already am. You do not need to stand on a stage to preach about me. Every time you forgive, you preach. Every time you love someone hard to love, you preach. Every time you choose truth over compromise, you preach. Every time you pray for someone, when no one sees, heaven hears, and a seed is planted. That is the true harvest, where every act of love becomes a sickle that touches another's soul. Beloved, do not let weariness slow your steps. The harvest season is heavy. It demands labor, tears, and sacrifice. But it is also the most glorious, for every drop of sweat is a soul redeemed. I know you have cried much, believed much, and endured much. But my child, persevere, for a great harvest is coming, greater than you can imagine. Some prayers you thought were lost have taken root deep in the soil. Some people you thought would never change are about to be touched by my hand. Some lands you thought were barren are about to flow with living water. Do not worry about your reward. The true reward is not in praise, but in seeing souls return home. When one sinner repents, heaven rejoices more than over 100 earthly victories. Luke 1:5-7. When you witness a soul rescued, you share in my joy, the joy that no one can take away. Do not let the apathy of the world extinguish your flame. Even if others stop believing, you will believe. Even if others quit, you will keep walking. Even if others mock you, you will keep speaking. Even if others turn away, you will keep loving. For light does not need a crowd to shine, it only needs one flame. And you, my child, are that flame in the night now covering the earth. My beloved child, when this trumpet sounds, it calls you not only to action, but to holiness. For no one can carry the light while still making peace with darkness. I do not ask for perfection, but I ask for purity. Let me wash your feet with the water of my word, your hands with grace, and your heart with the fire of my spirit. For only when you are cleansed can you carry the pure flame of my presence. Bring to me what still lingers within you, the fears, the wounds, the old pains not yet healed. Let me restore you, for I do not send the wounded to battle. I heal you so that you may heal others. I love you so that you may love. I forgive you so that you may forgive. And when you go, you will not carry burdens, you will carry light. This is my hour, not the world's. The plans of men will fade, but the plans of heaven will stand. Every kingdom will fall, but my kingdom endures forever. And you have been invited to take part in it, not as a spectator, but as a harvester. The trumpet is sounding, the fields are open, and my spirit is moving mightily across the earth. Go, my child. Go with feet that bring the gospel of peace. Go with hands ready to lift others. Go with eyes filled with mercy. Go with a heart free from fear. For I am in you, and wherever you step, heaven touches the earth. And when the harvest is complete, when the final trumpet sounds, when souls return home, I will stand before you with a smile and say, "You have been faithful in little now. Receive the great reward. You have fought the good fight, you have kept the faith, and now the crown of life is yours." My child, the night is at its deepest. Darkness spreads across the lands, seeping into the corners of human hearts. Evil now calls good its own, and lies parade themselves as truth. People claim wisdom, yet their wisdom has become madness. They speak of freedom, yet they bind their own souls. They claim to seek light, yet they run toward shadow. And in all this chaos you may think I am silent. But no, my child, I am still here. This darkness has not come to destroy, but to reveal. It is the final curtain before true light breaks forth. For before every dawn the night grows darkest. Before life rises, death gives its last cry. Before my glory is revealed, hell trembles. And you are living in that very moment, the breath between the last gasp of night and the first inhale of morning. Many have grown weary. They look around and see only violence, deceit, and collapse. They ask, "Where is God?" But I have never left. As a seed must rest in the dark soil before it can sprout, so this world too is in its labor pains. What you see is not the end, but the hidden beginning. Just as when I created the heavens and the earth, when all was void and darkness covered the deep, my voice spoke, "Let there be light," and there was light. Now once again I am speaking, let there be light. See not with your human eyes, but with your spirit. For what your eyes perceive is only the surface. Beneath the chaos I am establishing a new order, a spiritual one. While human systems collapse, I am rebuilding the foundations of my kingdom. While earthly doors close, I am opening heavenly gates. While cries of sorrow rise, I am sowing songs of joy. And while the world believes the light has gone out, I am igniting torches in unexpected places, in humble hearts, in quiet rooms, in souls wholly surrendered to me. This is the testing of faith. True faith is not proven when all is easy, but when all is shaken. Faith is not a feeling of safety, but a choice to stand firm when every emotion rebels. Just as Abraham believed without seeing his son, just as Noah built the ark before the rain, just as Elijah prayed, though the sky stayed dry, so must you believe even when heaven is silent. For that silence is not my absence. It is the pause before revelation. I know you are tired. I know you have prayed and waited sometimes, thinking no answer would come. But remember, I am never late. I am always precise. Everything in my kingdom moves according to perfect timing. When you think I delay, I am arriving right on time to accomplish what no one expected. When you think all is broken apart, I am rearranging the pieces into a masterpiece. When you feel abandoned, it is then that I draw closest. For darkness cannot stop me from coming, it only makes my light more visible. My beloved child, do not panic at what you do not understand. The world is undergoing its greatest refining in history. Hearts are being exposed, justice is being tested, and truth is being twisted. But amid the confusion, those who know me will recognize my voice. Just as sheep know their shepherd's call, so you will discern mine among the noise. Keep your heart still, for the world will grow louder than ever before. That noise comes to distract you, but I am teaching you this truth. The ones who know how to be silent will hear me clearly. My light is about to break forth. It will not come from thrones or governments, not from fame or power, but from small hearts refined in secret. Just as I sent John the Baptist into the wilderness where his voice cried not in palaces but among sand and wind, so will I raise my messengers now. Just as I was born in a manger in the quiet of the night, no fanfare, no spotlight, only eternal presence, so my new light will arise unseen by many yet unstoppable, humble in appearance yet mighty in power. It will not boast yet it will conquer. It will not shout yet it will shake the heavens. For I am once again saying, let there be light, and it begins with you. My beloved child, do not let the darkness deceive you. It shouts loudly because it knows it is losing. The enemy thrashes violently because his time is short. He strikes harder because my light is drawing near. He spreads doubt, division, and weariness because he fears that this awakened generation will rise. But I tell you the truth, my child, the darkness will not win. It may roar, but it cannot conquer. It may frighten you, but it cannot extinguish what I have ignited within you. I have placed a flame inside you for this very hour, not a fire of panic, but of holy hope. When others weep, you will sing. When others fear, you will believe. When others flee, you will stand. When everything fades, you will shine, not because you are stronger, but because I am within you. And that flame within you, it is the final light before dawn. Dawn is coming. I know the night has been long, but light is already threading the horizon. You may not see it all yet, but you will feel it. Small signs will appear in prayers, answered in strangers, touched in things, thought lost, coming to life again. Bit by bit the light will spread and the darkness will dissolve. As the sun does not argue with the night to rise, my light does not need to prove itself to shine. It only needs to appear. Do not give up. Do not collapse before dawn. Keep watch. Keep your lamp burning, your oil full, your heart pure. Stand as one waiting for the Master's return. For only the watchful will see the sunrise. Those who sleep will merely hear that the light has come, but you, my faithful one, will witness it with your own eyes. And when that light breaks forth, when the darkness melts like mist, you will understand that every tear, every prayer, every long night was not in vain. You will see what you once believed by faith become what you now see with your eyes. You will hear me declare, behold, the old has passed away. Behold, all things have become new. 2 Corinthians 5:17. Prepare yourself. My child, for this dawn is not merely the beginning of a new day. It is the beginning of a new era. And you, my faithful watchman, will be among the first to see the light spread over the earth, my child. When this light begins to shine, I want you to look deeply and see what the prophets of old longed to see. For you are living in the new day of glory, the day I promised before the foundation of the world. Every prophecy, every tear, every trial of past generations has been leading to this moment when my glory will fill the earth as the waters cover the sea. Do not think I exaggerate. I am revealing myself as never before. This glory is not the blinding brilliance of the world, but the living presence of heaven upon the earth. It is not confined to temples, but rests within human hearts, not only on the holy mountain, but in the streets. Not only in worship gatherings, but in every breath of those who belong to me. For I have spoken, I in them, and they in me. John 1:7-3. And now this is coming to pass. Can you hear it? A new song is rising across the land, not from choirs or cathedrals, but from reborn hearts. It is the song of those who have survived, the night those who have walked through ashes, now singing with eyes ablaze. You are faithful. You are unchanging. They sing not because everything is perfect, but because they have seen the perfect one in the midst of the ruins. and in their song my glory multiplies. My beloved, I am raising up a generation of light. They are not shaped by culture, but by my spirit. They do not live for fame, but for my name. They do not seek power, but presence. They do not fear loss because they have surrendered all to me. They walk in obedience, and wherever they step, the atmosphere shifts. Tears turn to joy. Hatred melts into forgiveness. Fear transforms into faith. They do not just speak of me, they carry me within them. I am pouring out my spirit across the earth. No more barriers, no more boundaries. The Holy Spirit cannot be contained by walls or nations. He is blowing freely like the wind from east to west, from north to south. Those who were silent will now speak. Those who were afraid will rise. Those who once stumbled will run. And those who were forgotten will carry my glory to the nations. In a city thick with smoke and noise, a small group prays. No lights, no stage, only tears and thanksgiving. Yet heaven opens above them. From that hidden place, the light will spread like lightning flashing from east to west. There will be miracles in the quiet healings that never make the news souls saved without applause. For I am not seeking human noise. I am seeking faithful hearts. I will reveal things the world has never seen. The impossible will unfold before your eyes. I will reconcile broken families. I will melt hearts of stone. I will turn enemies into brothers. I will make rivers flow from tears and cause deserts to bloom. For my glory is not just light to behold, it is power to transform. My beloved child, this glory is not given to be admired, but to be carried. It is not meant to be kept, but to be shared. I give it to you not for concealment, but for shining. When you walk in love, when you forgive, when you lift another, my glory spreads. Every act of love, no matter how small, is a spark that bridges heaven and earth. Remember, true glory is not in outward splendor, but in a surrendered heart. David was called a man after my own heart, not because he was perfect, but because he knew how to break before me. Moses saw me face to face, not because he was great, but because he dared to remain in the darkness and listen. And now I am seeking such people in this generation, those unafraid of light or shadow who fear only one thing, losing my presence. My beloved child, this new day is not only the beginning of joy, but also the unveiling of true identity. Those who were once misunderstood will be vindicated. Those who were faithful in secret will be honored in the open. Those who waited long will see the promises fulfilled, for I have not forgotten a single word I have spoken. Every seed you have sown in tears will bloom in songs of joy. Every whispered prayer in the night will become a shout of gladness in the day. I will cause my glory to rest upon you, as it once rested upon Moses. His face shone so brightly that people could not look at him. But the glory you carry will be greater still, for it will not only rest upon your face, but dwell within your heart. It is the glory of the new covenant glory that does not fade, that is not bound by ritual, but born of living presence. When you walk, others will feel a peace they cannot explain. When you speak, your words will carry life. When you pray, the heavens will open. Live as one who has seen the light. Do not hide what I have placed within you. Do not fear if others do not understand. Do not grieve if they reject you. Light does not need acceptance to be light. It only needs to shine. This new day is not just for you, it is for the world. I am making all things new. The seas will sing, the mountains will clap their hands, and the trees will rejoice. All creation will know that I am the Lord, Creator, Redeemer, Restorer. Nothing can hinder it, no power can delay it. For what I open, no one can shut. What I begin, no one can undo. You will see with your own eyes the day when my glory covers the earth, when lost souls kneel in tears, when nations once at war hold hands in peace, when the prayers of this generation blend with the songs of angels. That will be the day when heaven touches earth, and I will declare, "This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Psalm 118:24. Keep your heart in holy wonder, for you will not only hear about glory, you will live in glory. And the world will know that there is a living God because they will see him in you. My beloved child, when all is fulfilled, let your heart grow still. Let the winds within your soul be calm. Let the noise of the world fade away until only one thing remains, my presence. For you have walked a long road through fire, and through water, through darkness, and light, through tears and through laughter. And now you stand in the place I always intended for you, in my peace. This is not the fleeting peace the world promises. This is the peace that surpasses all understanding, the peace that cannot be stolen, shaken, or traded. It is not born of circumstance, but of my presence within you. When you sit quietly, when you breathe in the stillness, when you no longer need to prove or defend anything, that is when heaven's peace has found you. My child, I know there were days you fought to believe, nights you prayed and felt unheard, seasons of loneliness and doubt. But look back, was I not there all along? Every time you fell, I lifted you. Every time you wept, I counted your tears. Every time you trembled, I laid my hand upon your heart. You were never lost. You were being led deeper, deeper into faith, deeper into love, deeper into rest. And now you understand peace is not the destination, it is me. When I breathed into dust and formed the first man, I gave not only life, but rest in me. Peace was always the soul's natural state when it remained in its rightful place in the arms of its Creator. But when sin entered, humanity fled that peace. They sought it in power, in possessions, in knowledge, but they could not find it, for they searched outward while peace was within. And through all generations I have been calling them home. You heard that call and you answered. You allowed me to break down walls, to heal wounds, to teach you to walk again in light. Now you no longer strive to be loved, you know you are loved. You no longer fight for a place, you know you are chosen. You no longer run, you have come home. And that home is not a place, but the oneness between you and me. In this peace you will begin to see everything clearly. What once caused pain will now become thanksgiving. What once frightened you will now become a lesson in trust. Those who once left you will now be seen through eyes of forgiveness. For when my peace reigns, bitterness has no home. Only love remains pure, as morning light, gentle as the wind, deep as the sea. Look around, the universe still moves to my rhythm. No matter the chaos of mankind, I keep the sun rising, the moon shining, the wind blowing, the waters flowing. Creation is at peace because it obeys. And when you learn obedience, peace will overflow within your soul. Surrender is not the loss of freedom. It is the rediscovery of true freedom, the freedom that comes from harmony with heaven's will. I do not promise a life without storms, but I promise that when they come, you will not be swept away. For your roots are anchored in my peace. The waves may rise, but your heart will not falter. The night may be dark, but your eyes will still see light. The world may change, but you will remain firm because you stand upon the eternal rock. That is the power of true peace. My beloved, understand that peace is not merely a reward, it is your inheritance. Every child of mine receives it. I left it behind when I said, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you." John 1:4-7. This peace does not come from effort but from surrender, not from avoidance but from presence. When you choose to dwell in me, peace becomes the air you breathe. When you trust, peace floods in. When you love, peace blossoms. Let your heart become a dwelling place for that peace. Do not let the worries of the world muddy the spring within you. When noise rises, return to me. When fear surges, say, "You are here." When you feel weak, remember, my strength is made perfect in weakness. And when you stop in silence, you will hear it, the whisper of eternal peace singing within your soul. Teach others what you have learned. Share this peace with those who have not yet found it, not through words, but through presence. When you walk into a room, let them feel heaven's gentleness. When you embrace the broken, let them know they are not alone. When you pray, let peace flow like a river watering dry places. For peace was never meant to be kept, it was meant to spread. The time has come for you to rest in me. Not an ending, but the beginning of true life. For only when the soul rests does it truly live. You have learned to stand now, learn to sit at my feet. You have learned to speak now, learn to be silent in awe. You have learned to go now, learn to abide. And when you abide in me, you will realize there is nothing left to seek, because you have found everything. Know that I delight in you, not because you are perfect, but because you are faithful. Not because of what you do, but because of how you love. Not because you always win, but because you keep believing even when all seems lost. I see the small light within you, and it lights up heaven. My beloved child, now I speak to you as a father to his own. My child, rest. The winds have calmed. The waves are still, and I am here. Let every burden fall. Let every voice fade. Let every fear dissolve. For I am your peace. When you breathe in, know it is the breath of grace. When you breathe out, know it is surrender. When you close your eyes, I still see you. When you are silent, I still hear you. When you stop moving, I draw near. And when you rest, I will cover you with my wings. Peace is not a place you go, it is the place you return to. And you have returned. My soul, be still before God, for my hope comes from him. Psalm 6:25. The light has risen. The darkness has vanished. You are in me and I am in you forever. Thank you for listening to this message today. Subscribe and turn on notifications so that together we may continue to receive these living words, strengthen our faith, and walk in the boundless love of God. Amen.